man a stranger who blocking my traffic and need to get to my destination now. Wait, it's a mad party we keeping on the island. No matter where you come from, this is the time now. Bring out the flag and rep your country in style now. Oh, take a hike now. Listen, let these people know you're bad and ready. People out of control, liquor infused already. I don't want to see the time. I'm not living here. I don't know if you're mad or crazy. Officer, let go my lady. Lion, who beats in the eye?
Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. 21 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock, and it's time for us to shine a spotlight on Tobago Carnival 2025.
We are heading into the rest of the carnival as the final one for the year has happened. Tobago Carnival 2025 deserves quite the review. So to help us do that this morning, Kern Cowan, the CEO of the Tobago Festivals Commission, is joining us here on the Now. Good morning, Kern.
Pleasant good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Exhausted and still recovering. How are you?
Same here, same here, same here.
I could only imagine. TPAC was such an integral part of so many facets of the carnival itself. We will go through as many of them as we can, but overall, if you had to choose 3 words to describe Tobago Carnival 2025, what would you say?
Exciting, impressive, and overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Could that be part of the reason that, or could that be contributed to by the fact that there were incredulous numbers, growth year after year? I mean, year 4, we saw it bigger than it was previously. Did that add to the feeling of being overwhelmed, perhaps?
Oh, definitely. And just the thought process of it growing again in 2026 tells you that there's a lot to be done, a lot to be put in place, and a lot of coordination that has to take place immediately because of the success of 2025.
Let's shine a brighter light on some of those successes, because you definitely would have learned from previous years to help with that expansion and managing that expansion, particularly from TPAC's perspective, where you would have coordinated or been behind the scenes for a lot of the iconic happenings in the carnival. What were some of the biggest successes that you would see for TPAC?
Well, just to correct, TFCL, Tobago Festivals Commission Limited. That's all right. So for TFCL, a lot went into the road management, into the coordination, working closer with the stakeholders to really identify what makes the thing work for them and how best we can coordinate to really enhance what the product will be, what the outcome of the product would be for everybody. Taking into consideration both masqueraders, spectators, non-carnival partakers, and how we can accommodate everyone was really the angle that we took. And to give some credit to our international marketing that really helped us a lot. Our activation in Times Square or our placement in World Travel Market and different things really pushed the product on the international scale. So we saw the benefits of those things. We even saw the benefit of inter-Caribbean visitors, St. Vincent, Grenada, Guyana, up the islands, St. Vincent, St. Lucia. We had a lot of visitors from across the Caribbean, a lot of visitors from across Europe, and a lot from the US. Those are 3 main catchment areas that really affected the carnival positively. And even, of course, our Trinidad counterparts were also really, really in high numbers for this year. And we really want to be able to shed light, according to you, on those things, because it really tells us that the product is one that is benefiting the island significantly.
Kern, I know it may be early in the game still, but any estimates or actual numbers that you can share with us in terms of those visitors from those areas you've identified by chance?
So far, we have an estimate of over 40 to 50,000 persons. That's an estimate that has been banded around thus far. And we are just working to finalize those figures. But we do have some figures in terms of locations. Not figures, but some identification of locations that have been represented on the island. And we are going with those as well. But definitely, we are looking at a number upwards of 40,000 persons in Tobago at that time.
Fantastic stuff. The island sank a little bit more, but in terms of those numbers, we would have seen, of course, a lot of those numbers coming from the parade of the bands, which is on screen right now. As you said, both the region and our international counterparts across other waters joining us here. But then we had specific events that would have seen particular numbers as well. New events, events that were carried across from previous years. So perhaps we can go through from that perspective, the more successful events that we will see continued in the Tobago Carnival season. Off the top of your head, what perhaps was the most successful, let's say, out of the Pan or even the Titans, the Soca Titans competition? What sort of numbers did we see for these events?
Oh, we saw increased numbers across all. So much so, Soca Titans for me was extremely impressive. I even told the team, I said, now was the time to put a cover charge to enter into Tobago Titans, because it has become just that. You know, it stands on its own, it has that quality, and it has the ability to really attract. The Pan Omega also, its first inauguration and its first showing really brought out the Pan enthusiasts, and I'm so happy to see what it was able to do, because it's in its first instance, and it came out strong. The Calypso competition also did really, really well. And I think because of the placement in the heart of Scarborough, really attracted a lot of the people from all over. So I'm really happy to see what these numbers have been able to do and how it has really contributed to stakeholder engagement, stakeholder management, and the building of the cultural fraternity altogether.
Okay, when we talk numbers, we also talk growth, and hopefully having these numbers growing might pose challenges where infrastructure, things like, parking, actual traffic is concerned. The new roadways and other adjustments that have been made in Tobago, these things were significant contributors to a successful event, I take it. Did you see that impact directly or hear any feedback as such?
Yes, definitely. The new connecting road that connects to the airport did significantly help with the amount of traffic, because with increased numbers, increased cars, increased movement, all of those things needed to be accommodated, and the new road did serve its purpose. And that is a larger conversation taking place even at the policyholders level, where there is even more input that is required into the development of infrastructure across Tobago as we continue to grow. If this is just one product and can land this type of impact on one product, what about the rest of the products, the Tobago Heritage Festival and everything else? We also need to bolster everything going across. So those things are very exciting in terms of what we plan to do and how we plan to expand going into 2026 and how we look to beef up our entire tourism product altogether.
Now, when we talk about beefing up, a lot of the times that's going to cost. And one of the significant things that was shared publicly was the cost or the spend, or rather the earnings of the winners of the Soca Titans. And I'm wondering if there's any sort of policy in place or policy change that you're looking forward to, as you mentioned it, to possibly look at increasing the figures that the winners would have earned. I realize that from 5th to 1st, we're all awarded monetary prizes. And those are things that are often talked about when we talk about the spending carnival. Will we see policy change there to increase those figures?
I can tell you off the bat, yes. Soca Titans is really an investment into developing the sound of the Tobago Carnival and the development of young artists. We want to be able to see these artists expand into Trinidad Carnival and all other international arenas that they can be exposed to. So this is just a small investment, because more than just the prize money, we also invest in them in vocal development, performance enhancement, just generally a series of training mechanisms went into them going into the Soca Titans, not just because we think that they are short of the value, but it's about building a product that has international standard and quality. So there is definitely the next step of opening the conversation of increased prize money, also increase airplay, increase playing of the local music on the road, a possible road march for 2026. And all of these things are already in the conversation as to what to expect with these types of avenues for 2026, because we see it as a valuable investment in building the product. We are only 4 years in, so we try to make sure we make all the notes and make all the right moves going forward.
Okay, we're talking review, but I'm loving how we're getting the future plans coming out already. I always want to ask any secrets, and you're sharing them this morning, so I'm looking forward to even more. But one of the big conversations for a lot of Trinidadians in particular who seemed to be unaware of the night mass element of the Tobago Carnival was exactly that. The changes, the structure, how organized it was, and a number of wins for night mass altogether. Will we see more emphasis on the Juve and night mass product of the Tobago Carnival for 2026? Or are we going to see more focus still on the road parade for Sunday for the pretty mass?
Definitely, especially when it comes to night mass. We made a lot of changes from 2024, 2023 coming into this production of night mass. A lot. We had the night mass pre-pump, which was a success, and going into what the numbers for night mass was able to produce, we definitely believe that there is something very special about the night mass that will need some more focus and continued focus, and will probably bring out just the same kind of numbers as the Juve we did also. So I'm very excited about that. Additionally, we want to play a lot more focus on our indigenous mud, a lot more. And that's why the theme was very specific to talk mud, mass, and music. And we want to be able to continue to build on the mud, similar to what, the jab is for Grenada. This is what we want to be able to build when it comes to what is homogeneous to Tobago and how it can be represented even better going forward.
Now, a couple of years back, there was an actual conversation about packaging and exporting the mud out of Tobago for some bands because of how it was treated and a number of features to it, if you will. Is that still on the table, or have we evolved past that to other expansions of the mud mass?
Oh, definitely, that is still on the cards. I know the guys they have their package colored mud, and that's a whole product by itself that will continue to grow. More focus also to develop that, because that is a downstreaming product that will earn some export strength. And once we give it the focus that it requires and it can be developed, I see it being as a major product that Tobago can build on also. Tobago is festival capital, and we want to be able to ensure that we can, really find mechanism to strengthen those aspects and to be able to build on what we can put forward to the world.
Well, with a title like Festival Capital, we're going to have challenges that we need to overcome. And so could you share with us some of the big ones that will still see a little bit of a change coming to 2026? Some big challenges that you discovered or have to continue to explore?
The biggest challenge is access to the island. That is our greatest challenge. And we will continue to have those collaborative conversations with Caribbean Airlines, with the port authorities, to see how best we can continue to improve early enough that allows us to bring in the volume in. Because as many people that were here, there were still lots that wanted to come and couldn't. And while there is going to be, of course, that physical capacity that the island can actually accommodate, I still think there is room for us to grow, improving our number of our room stocks. All of those things go hand in hand with the development of the island, and those are at the level of the policymakers as we continue to have those kind of unique conversations. Bring it more home to the festival itself in terms of ensuring that the route, continues to expand in a way that could accommodate also the volume, and how we would maneuver those things is also something to look into. Enhancing the bands and the band quality, the involvement of the stakeholders, bringing them to the table earlier to make the decisions faster so that we have more impact, and ensuring that our marketing continues to be widespread enough to dig deeper into our captive markets.
Well, what a close to a season I say to you, congratulations to you and the entire team, to all of Tobago then, because as we see, the Alpha and the Omega, Tobago closes it off, Trinidad starts it, and this has been quite the culmination. If you were to give us some insight, because you've already told us we have a lot of policy to look forward to and some changes, 2026, what are we looking forward to then, in 3 words?
Wow, in 3 words, a lot more to come. I can afford it, but yes, a lot more to come, a lot more to experience, and a lot more to look forward to. And Tobago is on decline, for sure.
Congrats again then, Kern, and to the entire team. You will see us soon, because it's only Tobago Thursday. It's one for the week, but we are definitely celebrating Trinidad and Tobago every single day. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, giving us a bit of insight as to what we can look forward to, some of the successes, and why you should have been there. The Tobago Carnival review is what we just did, but we still have more for you here on the Now Morning Show, as it's Tobago Thursday. So stick around. We'll be back after these messages.
We alive. Come let we party, let we fetch right now, cause we in Paris.